Welcome to this monthly review where we look at all the recent releases from Games Workshop for the skirmish or box game lines. The idea here is to appreciate the cool stuff that's just come out rather than getting sucked in with the constant hype for the upcoming releases. This is going to be a relatively quick one, as the month of June has been absolutely dominated by the release of Leviathan, the new edition of 40k. Honestly, it's been a bit of a weird situation. GW should be a massive company, but has ended up in this weird scenario where they literally cannot make enough product to meet demand. While I'm sure Leviathan was a massive success for them, to make it, they basically had to shut down the rest of the company for an entire month, which is crazy when you think about it. Only one of the box game lines got new releases this month, and that was Warhammer Underworlds, who finally got an updated starter. They also got a new warband and a new rivals deck. I definitely think the new starter box is a great addition to the line. It's a nice entry point with up-to-date rules and tokens. The warbands are both from Season 1, so they've been long out of print. Season 1 warbands didn't actually have full rival decks, so this box does make some changes to both the fighter cards, and now of course there's a full rival deck. So even if you have these models already, it might not be a terrible purchase to update them so you can play in Underworlds. The warband is called the Headman's Curse, which is a clever little story with each of the fighters making a part of the steps in an execution. By all regards, the warband is decent. The theme is to mark enemy fighters with condemned tokens, and I guess after that execute them. Then we have the new Universal Rivals deck Void Cursed Thralls. The goal of this deck is to get some curses down, and that can be on enemies or friendlies. A fighter with a curse can't make actions other than moves, attacks, and charges. They can't make range 3+ attacks, can't be driven back, and their defense characteristic is changed to 1 block. So this deck is going to work best with fighters where getting cursed isn't going to set them back. And that was all of the actual releases this month. Killteam did get a new balance data slate, and this was a bit of a weird one. There are a bunch of little tweaks. There are buffs to Warp Coven, Exaction Squad, Lucian Starstriders. Intercession were adjusted. I believe it was to make them a little easier to play against. Mostly I think because they're such a popular starting kill team. There are a few other things in there, but notably they haven't gone to tackle the Felgor Ravagers and the Chaos Cult kill teams, which currently are considered a bit too powerful. I can understand the argument here. It's that they need a little bit more time to kind of fully understand things before they make any big changes. Now, the changes that they have made are all good, but I think competitive play is probably going to be a bit of a mess for a while. Necromunda, another month and another Apocrypha release. I have to admit, I think this is one of the best things that GW do, and I would love to see them do it for other games. It is a simple once-a-month release with some background, some optional rules, and a scenario. Just a couple of pages in the PDF. Now, I know this isn't something that magically appears. You need staff to put the time and effort into it. It's got art, someone has to do up the PDF, and so on. That said, GW almost completely shut down for a month as their factories focus on Leviathan, but Necromunda was still able to get an awesome release. This is something that they really could do for all of the game lines. Anyway, what's in this? And weirdly, they forgot to add this to the downloads page on the website, so you have to go through the release article. I'll add a link in the description. This has a prison break from a high security prison. Once again, Lady Credo is causing problems, looking to break out prisoner UD414, whoever that might be. Rules include how to program a Sanctioner Automata and hard case cyber mastiffs. That's a nice little buff for the RBTs, and although it's optional, I suspect it's a sort of change that campaign arbitrators will be happy to allow. The mission is a Sector Mechanicus mission. The attacker is part of a gang of inmates looking to break out of an underwater prison. The narrative variant, of course, has Lady Credo, along with 4 Vansar springing out the prisoner, who you run with the stats of an Escher Matriarch. The guards are a normal enforcer gang with the bonus of 2 hardcase cyber mastiffs and a sanctioner automata. I love this stuff. It's another fantastic release, great team, great background, just wonderful. No release for Blood Bowl this month, but the computer game Blood Bowl 3 did get a new patch and added lizardmen onto the list. This isn't the game we were hoping for, at least not yet, But by all regards, this version is much improved, and I've heard a few people say that you can actually play games of Blood Bowl, which after all is what we're all looking for. So if you're on the fence on this one, it might be time to take another look. And those were the releases for the month. Mostly it's given us more insight into the current state of Games Workshop, I think. Speculation for a while now has been that they're limited by the number of factories they have available, which would explain this month. We've recently had the announcement of Epic's return, but unfortunately at the same time we're being told that the Xenos aircraft from Aeronautica are going away. So if you're a fan, this might be time to get them before they're gone. I do think this is a little unfortunate, as Aeronautica is one of the games that they've only really just brought back. Sometimes I really feel like they're going in a circle, and they're just not learning from their mistakes. Anyway, with Leviathan behind us, hopefully we can look forward to more releases for our favourite games. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Each week I put up a new video talking about one of Games Workshop's specialist games. The goal is always to try and make the best possible two-player experience. If this is something you'd find interesting, please subscribe to the channel and comment to let me know what you'd like to see in future.